history of psychology course right now, and I gotta tell you, I know it's good stuff to know, but I really don't care. As usual, I only study Western civilization. The teacher, to her credit, did say, recognize that there's more, you know, to this than Western civilization, but, you know, we're only gonna study Greeks, Romans, all that type of stuff. Good morning, beautiful. Today I really don't want to get up. I am going to a dance class that I'm really nervous about. But that pace horrible. But it's okay. Being better at tolerating those emotions. We'll want to get back to like pain management soon. And remember that it's okay to hustle, it's okay to try hard, it's okay to feel dysregulated towards the pursuit of a goal. Even if that pursuit of that goal could be organized a lot better, it doesn't feel very good. It's time to put on the big boy pants.
Imagine a lot of children playing horsey, you know, and you gallop. You were getting ready to jump in, but now you're gonna lead with the toes. Yeah? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something I also want y'all to try.
Improv club. Pulled something in my leg for trying to like twerk, basically. On my ever increasing journey to integrate my left and right hemispheres and to absorb and tolerate more stimuli. We did improv stuff, which was very, very dropped in, and I got really, really dropped in. And then they kind of suddenly switched to like some pop music. I started talking and I turned all the lights on, and I'm used to kind of like a slow transition out of that. And so I had kind of a reaction, and I ended up asking for, you know, oh, can we do a cool down before we switch it up? And they were like, yeah, sure. And they like, I asked if we could turn the lights off, and like we did. And then I had to kind of, not too heavy, but I kind of had to process through my own stuff about that, of being like, what? And so when I ask for my needs to be met and no one else is asking for it, and they do it, I just get this big fear that, based on history, that people are going to be really upset with me for kind of bulldozing everyone else with my needs and stuff like that. And people always say, like, advocate for yourself, ask for your needs to be met. But then there's this other side of it where I've had lots of people in my life being like, lost friendships and jobs from advocating because people find it very distasteful, essentially. So it's very, I don't know, I don't want to be complaining, and I'm grateful for a place to flow, but I think part of it is just that I have so much need for this type of like movement community. It's so special to me, and you know, it makes me really passionate and really deep feeling about experiencing that, and you know, sharing that with people. And so that's good. You know, I'm living in a body that the goddess gave me that is hypersensitive to what this medicine is, and I'm not going to judge that body. I'm going to be grateful for it. And I want to learn how to be more flexible, so that just a little bit, so that I'm more able to make friends and do things like that. We're learning about Bartenieff fundamentals just a little bit in my somatics class, and one of the fundamentals is that if your body is too rigid, then it will break. You have to have some give. in order to be stable.
Each other's focus button is what we say and what we do. Try to fill up a
This is the first time since the beginning of the semester, which I guess we're only a month in, that I have skipped class, and I started getting panic attacks earlier today, and I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I didn't sleep much last night, but it was for the rehearsals for the dance troupe that I'm in, for the ensemble piece, and I made a mistake, because when I messaged my professor about missing because of panic attacks, she was essentially like, you can't miss rehearsals. That's not, what this is. Which I knew, which is why I set up my work and a lot of the things in my life the way that I did, and yet I did that. So, yeah, I mean, I think I told you I had some therapy before coming out here and starting the semester, where we were like, you're focusing first on school, then on working out, then on partnership, and community and friends, then on work. And yeah, I didn't really do that. But I'm trying to do is just switch over from that, not let the shame set in too hard. At least I communicated with her, even though it sucks, and I'm basically going to go from 100 to 95 automatically. But I need to take this time, recenter, go get ahead on all the other class stuff that I have, so that when this happens again, I can just show up, and if there's any fallout from the panic attacks, it happens in class, it's clear, I'm able to ground, and just center afterwards without a bunch of other school stuff hanging over my head. So my somatic class was really amazing this morning. We did some Klein. Last night I felt pretty gross, just was pretty much staying up all night studying. But today we got to, it's kind of this walkthrough of being aware of our body, of our bones, and sinking into that awareness and where they're positioned in our body, and gently aligning them in this really intuitive way. I have a lot of neck and back pain, as you might know, and it's pretty bad. And I think what I'm realizing now from dance classes is that I've done a lot of overcompensation to try to help the back pain and neck pain. That's been counterproductive, like over rotating my pelvis and putting my shoulder blades way back. And sometimes I'm constantly like to try to fix my posture so that my back won't hurt. But in this class, a lot of my pain kind of dissipated because we were just kind of focusing on the bones, like rotating how you look on the outside, like rotating the pelvis. What else did she described it as, like your pelvis is a bowl on top of another bowl. This was after we really dropped in and grounded, right? And I'm getting to take notes on all of these things so that when I lead classes, I'll be able to guide people through more of this stuff. But she said, imagine it tipping, water's being poured in and it tips out equally on both sides. She brought us through imagining the S-curve of the spine. It was a way to, you can't fix alignment with muscular engagement, which is what I guess I and a lot of dancers have tried to do. Like, because as soon as you relax, you'll go back. But if you, or you'll overcompensate with tension and it'll mess up everything else. Whereas if you focus on the bones, then you'll have this very intuitive way of how to align them in that way that is not exertion. Anyway, all I know is I feel very grounded in my body. And also my partner sent me a really sweet text this morning about our weekend together that was just breathtaking. I need to tell you more about that at some point. Basically, we just had this amazing weekend, and you've seen in my videos me talking about doing a lot of inner work on how I'm showing up in the relationship and how I'm creating space for them to express themselves, and also, you know, not allowing my panic to overtake me, or yeah, that kind of thing. And this last weekend with them really showed like a lot of the work that we've both been doing in that direction. Like, we both had a lot of like letting go of control and letting things play out as they needed to, and in sex and everything, like stopping and checking in, and even during the day in our conversations, and just going about our days, like if we really, I guess, what checking in with each other. You know, I have the tendency as like a man to think that I'm supposed to know how to make her feel safe and loved, and I should never have to ask her any questions, which is really kind of toxic. And to think that that's a feeling on my part if she's not having a great experience is, you know, just feeds into the cycle. So I think we both did a really good job of like, it was really, really connected. I guess we just spent a lot of time being really attuned to each other. And so then, and that I think speaks to the work that I've just been doing on my own, panic on my own, because when things would come up for me, instead of squashing them or trying not to talk about them, I would more often just kind of let them be and like let it be like, oh, I'm and not let it be a scary thing. It's really hard to pinpoint, but we just had this beautiful weekend. It was really refreshing for both of us. Nothing, no big explosions and fireworks, you know, just, I mean, kind of, but much more grounded, like a lot of just feeling really attuned and connected to each other, no matter where we were at. Anyway, so she sent me a text about that this morning, and I'm really proud that we are able to get to that point in our relationship where we feel both really casual around each other and able to be in whatever energy that we're in. It just feels very wonderful. So she sent me a message about that this morning, and it brought me really back to my own center. So that, and then the somatics class. Last night, as I said on here, I skipped my ensemble class, which the professor basically reached out to me and was like, you can't do that. Like, you cannot skip these classes. There's the rehearsals, we need everyone there. You know, we were choreographing today. So I messed up. I was also feeling really, really kind of icky last night and disconnected from my purpose and all those types of things. But we're sitting in front of a computer and studying psychological history can do that to you. But this, like when I do these things, like the somatic, I have to remind myself that when I'm afraid to go to dance classes, which I still sometimes am, because I think I'm not going to be a good dancer, blah, 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 it can overtake me. I have to remind myself that the teachers at Texas State are all kind of like somatically informed, and like we are. Like when sometimes I'll be like, I should be in a coven, I should be on a commune, I should be like bringing magic and holistic embodiment to people. What am I doing here? You know, blah, blah, blah. But then the class this morning reminded me that I am in that space, that these dance people are that space. And psychology can get a little heady, but I will always be doing this work, you know? I will always be, being in that energy just reminded me that, made me realize that I will always be doing that. It lights up such a wonderful thing in me that I can't, I clearly need that, and I can't not continue to explore it. And if that exists, if that type of medicine exists, where I almost I had no pain during the entire experience, and very minimal now. And so I know that can switch on a dime, but at the same time,